I know what you're thinking. You're like, what's all this steering stop BS? Why are people pulling steering stops out of here, and why does it even matter? It's funny because one of my buddies sent me some videos of some people that are doing these like steering radius turns. And I was doing steering radius turns, I don't even know how long ago. Might have been 5-6 years ago. I can't remember. I used to do them at the other place that I lived at, and I would take so much heat from people when I would do it. I'd post it on Facebook, I'd post it in different places. I probably even did a couple of YouTube videos, I don't know. But I would talk about it, I would do it with different bikes, and I would get like heat from people like, oh, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. And I was just like, bros, it's one of the things that like bugs me about the internet and making content is like, look, I'm just making content. It's a thing about these bikes. Like in the olden days, I say like 5-6 years ago, the KTMs turned like super tight. They don't now, which I'm gonna show in this video. Hey, before we get too deep into this video, I just wanna say, if you're gonna buy anything, like dirt bike gear, parts, all that stuff, use my affiliate links for Rocky Mountain ATV. It won't cost you anything. It's in the video description here, or it's on my website, dirtbikechannel.com, right up here. Click on the shop Rocky Mountain ATV, and then buy anything they sell. Would really help me out. Thanks so much. Let's get back to the video. This Beta, actually, I can now make this Beta turn quite a bit tighter than the KTM over here. I've got a 2024 KTM 250XC I just did a steering test with, you'll see me. And then I did the steering test with the Beta here with the steering stops in. And then I took the steering stops out, which is how I'm gonna run the bike. It barely touches the radiators when I go against the actual frame stops now. But there's a piece of plastic up here, the radiator guard, that is kind of helping that. If I put radiator braces on this, I may have to put the steering stops back in. But I'm fine with it the way it is right now. And it makes the bike turn, as you can see, 42 inches tighter to make a 180. It doesn't necessarily matter in moto, okay? So if you're riding a motocross or whatever, or maybe if you're just like a desert racer that's always going fast and it never gets tight and technical, it doesn't really matter how tight your bike turns because you know, you're gonna lean around a corner, you're gonna do whatever. But when you're in enduro riding, off-road trail riding, you get in some nasty situations, and being able to lock your bars over and make a turn or do a switchback, the tighter the bike turns, the easier it is. And back in the day, like on the 2020 Beta 200RR, it was like the worst steering radius, turning radius I'd seen. I did some with like a YZ250FX, like a 2019 or 2020, and that one wasn't super great. Like they were all, you know, kind of within range, but then the Betas were kind of out there. Well, Beta has now kind of made like a little indentation on the radiators here because I think they heard from people like, this is too much. So they've changed the shape of the top of the radiators to allow a little bit more clearance there. And I just wanted to show you guys this. It is such a big difference. Just the steering stops in, and then the steering stops out is 42.5 inches. And I'm just trying to like get the bike in. I got it lined up here in the shop, and I turn it all the way against the locks, and then I try to walk it straight around. Now, yes, I know that like how far your forks are down and the triple clamps, this can make, you know, the bike turn tighter and stuff, but like those are very minute things. But when you're actually just trying to make a corner, make a switchback, the tighter the bike turns is a significant advantage. And this bike being able to now turn 42.5 inches tighter, that is a huge thing. Like I can't even express to you how big of a deal that is out on the trail in some of these more technical environments and technical situations. So it was something that Graham Jarvis, like years and years ago when I met Graham Jarvis back in 2018, it's been like, what, 6 years, he told me he's like, oh, take these steering stops out. It was one of the first things he told me to do on a bike. And some guys have said, well, the steering stops are there to keep you from like tank slapping and crashing. And it's like, bro, if your bike is already at the stops, if you're in third gear, fourth gear, and your bike and your handlebars are all even close to the stops, you're going to eat dirt hard. You're going to take a dirt sample no matter, with the steering stops in or out. So I'm tired of that like excuse where people are, oh, you need those in to keep yourself from getting hurt. No, you don't. It's not going to keep you from getting hurt. You get your handlebar over like that, dirt sample time. Steering stops in or out. So I'm glad that they've actually, and I don't have the measurements. Maybe I will be able to actually dig up some of the footage on my server or something to see kind of, because I did measure them before 5-6 years ago when I was doing this. And so I'll be able to kind of find out how much wider this freaking KTM turns now. It's one of my least favorite things about the new KTMs. This is the 24 KTM 250 XC. It doesn't turn nearly as tight as they used to. Like the old 2020, like the frame that I love the most on the 250 XC and the XCW was like from 2000 to 2002, or I mean 2020 to 2022. Those frames were amazing. So that KTM has the TBI motor in it, which is awesome, but it has this more rigid frame that just makes the bike feel bigger and it turns way tighter. There's no steering stops to take out on that bike. It doesn't turn that tight. So you'd have to be modifying the frame or modifying your triple clamps to make it turn any tighter, that just sucks. So I'm hoping that in the future they'll go back to a tighter turning motorcycle, because I mean, it doesn't hurt them on the track, and that's part of the problem. Like a lot of the things we get on these motorcycles come down to us from racing. Motocross and supercross, that's what happens with the bikes. We get the frames that come down from those and the motors that come down from those racing things. And sometimes it's not the best for us in trail riding situations, you know? So, and the frames, we just have to get what they give. Now here in the 2024 supercross season, KTM is using their newer frames that'll come on the 25 bikes, and it's been a significant enough change that a lot of the riders have had, they really like it a lot better, like some of these supercross riders that I've been talking to, not talking to them, but I've been hearing things that they're saying to other people in the media. So I'm hoping that the new frames on the KTMs will be better, a little bit less rigid, but also I want them to turn tighter. And on this Beta, you can see that just like making a very, very minute change on the bike gives you 42.5 inches of a tighter turning rate. That's almost 4 feet, guys. Seriously, that's almost 4 feet. That makes a huge difference. So this is my monologue here. If you want to support what we're doing, oh, by the way, this will be a sweepstakes bike in March. These two bikes, the KTM 250 XE and the Beta 250 RR, are going to be sweepstakes bikes in March. So hold off, don't buy anything on my website until March. But once March does roll around, then you can get entered to win both of these bikes. If you want to support what we're doing and you're going to buy parts or gear or anything from Rocky Mountain ATV, please use my links. Rocky Mountain ATV is awesome, and if you use my affiliate links, which are right down here in the video description, or the links are over on dirtbikechannel.com. Maybe I'll point right there. Maybe it'll come up right here. It's at dirtbikechannel.com, and it says shop Rocky Mountain ATV. You click on that, and then you can buy anything they sell, and it helps to support what I'm doing here, helps to support these reviews, these bike reviews, the giveaways, all that stuff. And it won't cost you a dime, and Rocky Mountain ATV is awesome. Free shipping over 75 bucks. It's like 2-day shipping in most areas, you know. So I really like those guys. But yeah, this has just been another reminder that, like, if you have the ability to take the steering stops out of your motorcycle on your dirt bike, it's probably a really good idea for you to do that if you get in, well, I won't even say if, like, it's just a good idea to take that out. Now you could then like seal this up. So this has threads in here. You could put some silicone on that or whatever to keep that from rusting. But yeah, that's what I've got for you guys. So thanks so much for supporting what we're doing here. And you want to come here, Misty? Come here, Misty. Misty's in the shop with me today. Misty's the chocolate lab. And sometimes she thinks, I don't know, sometimes she thinks like she's in trouble or something. Like I start talking to the camera and she's like, why are you not talking to me? But anyway, we're good, aren't we, Misty? So that she's laying down now. I don't think you can even see her. She's laying down waiting to get like rubbed on her belly or something. So, okay, that's what I have for you guys. Hopefully everybody is having a great, February. And until next time, leave a single track. Thanks.